Let's put our hands together. Ray Luzier.
Tim Pedersen, everyone. How's it going? Everybody all right? You guys ready to rock? All right. I'm happy to be here. This is like home to me. I've taught here for almost 10 years in the 90s, and I graduated here in 89. And man, take advantage of the staff here because they are all ruling, and they will get you work out there. Just stick to your studies and shed a lot and practice, and you're gonna do well. Because this place is, I owe a lot of my success to this school. Absolutely. If you have seen the Modern Drummer ads, I mean what I say, and there's quotes in there. So by far, what I'm gonna do today is I just got off an 8-month tour, so I'm a little jet lagged, just a little bit. But what I'm gonna play today is a couple things off of my new instrumental record called The Hideous Sun Demons, and it's gonna be out in stores in probably the end of July on Magna Carta Records. And it's got a lot of different styles on it. It features a lot of like double bass kind of stuff in it. What's up, Jose? A lot of different kind of Latin stuff, a little bit of touch of jazz, but I'm pretty much primarily a rock drummer. When I get hired for sessions and stuff, I'm pretty much a rock guy. So I'm going to do a couple tracks, if you don't mind. I'm just going to get warmed up with a couple little ditties, and I'll explain what I did. And did everyone get a handout up here? Curriculum? Cool. I want you guys to walk away with stuff. I have a lot of warm-up exercises that I swear by that I do every day. And I want to make sure you guys, walk away going, okay, I can learn something from this. So if you have any questions throughout the clinic, please stop me. I'm totally cool with that stuff. Even if I'm in the middle of a piece, stop me and say, hey, what are you doing right there? I want to know what you're doing. I'm totally cool with that. You're not interrupting anything. So, all right. I'm going to rock a little bit for you. This first one's a little double bass song, a little love ballad. That I'm going to get warmed up with and wake everybody up. There's a pattern in the beginning that happens throughout the song, and I'm going to explain that after I'm done with it, after 2 songs, what exactly I did. It sounds a little confusing off the top, but once I explain it to you, you say, oh, okay, I understand what he's doing now. But, and then I'm going to go right into another song that's a little more, has a little more odd time in it and some soloing. Thanks a lot. Sound all right out there? It's cool. Thanks to Fetch for the sound. Making me sound better than I am. Put some effects on there. So I did a first song, Elevation. We named it Elevation, ironically enough, because it's actually climbing numbers. 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Keeps coming back like that, right? How we phrase that, it's an old marching corps thing I used to do. Going 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And then the band's in, right? So basically all we're doing is the ones, the evens all get the left-handed stroke, right? The E's and the U's of the 16th note, and all the rest of them are on the right hand. So 1, 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, right? All the odds on the right, all the evens on the left. So and basically I just threw a double bass pattern underneath that and did it over top. So I'm actually just playing. I'm copying. See how the even and odds end up on the right foot and the left foot. If you're just playing straight 16th notes, starting with your right foot, 1 E and 2 E and it works out that way on the snare. Is everybody cool with that? That's the intro to that thing. And I was just playing that one day, and Toshi, the guitar player, Toshi Hiketa and James Lomenzo are the musicians you just heard on that. They're on the Hideous Sun Demon CD that we're selling over there. He actually come up with the riff with that, and I'm like, wow, I never thought of using that in a song. And then, sure enough, we did it, you know. So. And basically, I was just using a straight 16th notes, but I'm actually adding 16th note triplets every once in a while, sporadically. They're not even planned, so I'm actually going like this. Right, adding the 16th note triplets right before the snare, creating a 4-stroke ruff, right? Everybody knows what a 4-stroke ruff is? Right? Just do 3 on the feet, and the snare takes that last note of the ruff. Does that all make sense? So around that, around the kick pattern, so you don't have to stop the momentum and the flow of the bass drums, just take off the actual left foot when you're hitting the snare. So I'm actually playing. Letting the snare take that. Right? Right, left, left. Now I come back in with the 16ths and it's smooth and I don't have to worry about stopping the momentum, right? I can drop them in anywhere I want to, right? Not just on the downbeat in tune 4. So, does that make sense? Yeah. That's a cool way to do it. You know, there's a drummer called Scott Travis from Judas Priest. Does a lot of that. He's very influential on me. He's very clean with his double kick. Is there many double bass drummers? How many? Yeah? Okay. Wow, more than I thought. Vinny? Where's Vinny? Oh, yeah, double bass king right there. Vinny Appleseed, everyone. A piece, sorry. But yeah, I'm a real stickler. I've made about 37 records, and I can't listen to half of them because I'm playing very sloppily and dirty on them. So if I can give you guys any advice, make sure when you're practicing stuff, practice everything very clean, you know, and thorough. Pronounce all the notes, get them all out. It's okay to be loose. You know, I'm a big fan of Keith Moon and all the loose kind of playing, but try to incorporate very clean when you're practicing. You know, and with your band, pronounce every note like you really mean it. Because there's a lot of slop on some of my first records. I can't even listen to them. I can't believe the producer let them go, actually, without replacing me. But if you hear the word quantized machine in the studio, it's never a good thing. You don't. But anyway, and then the second song, is that cool in Elevation? Is there anything in that first tune that anybody heard that they might want me explain on the very first song? Everybody cool? All right. So the second one basically had a beat turnaround. If you listen to it's a very melodic guitar line. And I just come up with this, like, I'm really into beat changes and turnarounds, and as long as you don't mess the song up, you know, always play for the song. So I had this kind of beat, you know. Right? As long as you keep it grooving like that. it doesn't really affect the beat. The melody's carrying the song. The beat just kind of makes you go, whoa, you know, something different going on, but then it comes back in. So as long as you don't do it too long where it flips the average listener around, you never want to do that. If people aren't doing this, then it's not a good thing, unless you're playing in 7 or 9, you know. And the next section just went into a couple bars of 7. 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Back to the beat. So that's basically the second song, Rain. Had to do with, and when we bring the dynamics up, obviously we rock it out in the middle there. I just got off the road, so I'm used to really slamming really hard with David Lee Roth. If anyone's ever seen the show, it's quite a 2-hour vigorous show. It's a lot of bashing. There's not, you know, the dynamics are either extremely loud and next to nothing, because you know he's Diamond Dave. So if he can't hear himself talk, you're getting fired. So he's turning around and giving you there's no real medium volumes at all, you know. So playing this stuff for me right now is a treat, because now I get to use all dynamics and splashes and whistles and all that. This is quite a different setup than I have for my Roth kit. It's a lot more crash cymbals, double bass, and you know everything's raised about another foot for animation. Dave loves that big old metal thing. No. Yeah, right. So basically, right now, before I take some questions, I'm going to play a couple things I've just been messing around with. It's a lot of improvisation. I didn't really plan any solo kind of stuff. I'm just going to make some stuff up with this new kit I just got, thanks to Orange County Drum and Percussion. They did a job. What do you think, huh? Yeah. Those guys are out of their minds. For those of you who aren't really familiar with OCDP, bands like No Doubt, I'm sure you heard of, Blink-182, Stained, not Slipknot anymore. He went to Pearl. Sorry, but Joey Jordison used it on the first 2 Slipknot records, Orange County, and they're just great drums. They're all custom made, so there's not another one of these kits on the planet, which is really cool. You know, you can do anything you want. They have cherry cola powder coating on the rims. I mean, who would have thought of that? You know, the actual wrap is called Smoky Chrome Bubble Wrap. What? You know, exactly. I mean, Travis Barker is dating this porn star right now, and he's actually putting naked pictures of her on his kit. Swear to God. So that tells you how their creativity is, it's never ending. They'll do anything you want to do, I swear. So I'm working on one to get my girlfriend's face all over it, but you know, she's sitting there, I had to say that. But no, but they're just great drums. They'll custom any kind of plow you want. I'm not trying to push them that much just because I'm endorsed. They really are great drums, you know. If you ever go see one of those bands, really listen to the drums. I toured with this band called the Nixons in 2000, and it was amazing because I would do these little signings in these booths or whatever, and we know these big festivals, 6 bands a day. And every time I'd hear very rarely does a drum sound make me turn around and go, wow, they sound great. And every time I would turn around, I'd see that logo, the OCDP logo. I'm like, what are those drums? You know, this is in 2000. And then finally I got turned on to them, and that's it. And thanks to Sabian Cymbals, the best cymbal company on earth. I've been with them over a decade now, and I can't say enough great stuff about Sabian. I have quite an array of selection on here, from the new metal X's to the AAs. I have a hand-hammered way off to the side here. I have a Bozio Radio. What is it, Chris? Radio? And a Mike Portney Max Splash. I got all kinds of different things. I swear by this 21-inch rock ride. If you see the Sabian catalog, make sure you guys get a news beat before you leave. My cymbal setup's in there for the David Lee Roth tour. And that's my quote in there. I love this ride. This is my favorite ride of all time. I use it on every record I do, every session. I mean, I just did a pop Italian session the other day. Used this ride, you know. I used Vinnie Colaiuta's kit and this ride. So it goes everywhere I go. And if I cried last year because I broke one after about 3 years of touring. They lasted that long. But great cymbals. Check them out, definitely. They're an awesome cymbal company. Thanks to ProMark Sticks. Another great, awesome company, great family, good bunch of brothers over there. And Remo heads exclusively. I'm using DW hardware and pedals, most of it anyway, today. It's still in my trap cases in the Pasadena. But I'm going to play a little bit of improvisation stuff, and I'll do some explaining. And did everyone get a handout, curriculum? Cool. All right. I'm going to play a little bit more for you. Thanks. Like I said, total improvisation. Started out with just to get on that last thing I was doing. That's an ostinato kind of thing. Kind of like what Terry did, only a little different. Obviously, didn't want to do one that he did, but basically, I'm just doing 4 on the right hand, right, and then 3 on the left. And I'm just actually doing them right together, right, which allows you to solo in 3 or you can solo in 4. So actually, right, if you're soloing with your left hand, or like I was doing this way. Brain's telling you to think in 3. If you do it on the right, now you're in 4. Now I'm soloing on my feet in 4 with that. Together, you know, I recommend doing that both at the same time, obviously. First, try it that way before you do anything else. But check out some of those Bozio things. I'm a big fan of those ostinatos. They really help out your jazz patterns, your Latin, just your 4-way independence all around. You know, the Bozio, like the 16th note ones, something like that. Taking the subdiv, I'm sure you've seen Bozio in clinic a million times, if you're like me. What's up, Robin? Basically taking each one of the 16th notes, the 1, the E, the N, the and do it with your right. So if I have a pattern like this, 1 E and a 2 E and a 3 E and a 4 E and a, basically going 1. Then I'll go to the next one. I go to the end. I go to and basically go to the next 2, next 3, and then start from there. You would be surprised what it does for your Latin, your bio. Any kind of samba patterns, your jazz rides, anything, any of that stuff's going to help out each other. So I encourage you to do some of those ostinato patterns. Don't spend a ton of time on them, but you know, I made a ton of more money doing this than I did those ostinatos, just to set the record straight. This is the most important thing, right, Vinny? Screw all the fills until you get that with immaculate timing from 0 or from 60 on a metronome to 220. Get that down first, and then go to the fancier stuff. A couple other things, just the buzz rolls. You know, trying to make my buzz rolls as clean as possible. You know, I give you guys a workout. It's called the double stroke roll exercise page. Actually, flip to that real quick. I'll go through a couple of those for you while we're on the double stroke roll. Can you guys see out there? Fetch, can you bring up the house lights just a hair? Maybe? Or is that not possible? They all left. So basically, look at the first double stroke roll exercise. Basically, wherever you see the slash, that's where you put the roll, right? So if you're playing, you want to put a bar of 16ths in between all these. Just don't play it straight down through. Actually play 1, 2, 3, 4, roll. 1, 2, next bar. 1, 2, 3, next bar. 1, 2, 3, and then next 4th. You understand what I'm saying? Put that bar of 16ths in there. Make sure you're doing it right. Never like pulse to right. I see a lot of guys, you know, make sure they're nice and even and clean. Always look at your hands, your technique, and make sure the height of your sticks are coming up the same. If you're right-handed drummers, make sure your left's not lagging and not weaker. I'm constantly looking up in this area up top of everybody. Prevent that, because if you're practicing like that, your rolls are going to sound like that on the toms. I've heard recordings that do that, you know. So you know, practice the nice even stroke. Just get nice even clean rolls that way, and that'll help your dynamics for single strokes going. Single stroke, right? But I'm making sure all the heights are the same on that. cranking loud or if I'm down low. You see me with Dave, my sticks go behind my shoulder on almost every stroke, right? Very hard, you know, so the endurance and stamina for playing louder, you have to practice that way, you know, takes a little bit more time to get developed, but does everyone understand that page? That's all you do, wherever the slash is, put the double stroke roll. And if you get bored with it, which you shouldn't, but if you do get bored with it, start making yourself some exercises. Put like maybe eighth notes on the hi-hat, pulse quarters with the kick. Give yourself an independence exercise like this, and then do it. Right? Reverse that. That kind of stuff. You double bass guys, girls, use the double kicks underneath that. Now you got a train effect, and now you're working out your feet, but you're concentrating on your hands on the rolls. It sounds like this. A lot of people say, "What do you practice double bass?" I really don't. I do stuff like that where I don't have to think about it. I don't sit in a practice room for 2 hours with a metronome going. I just can't do it, you know. It's good for if you want to check out your speed and stuff, but I always try to play as musical as possible. Even if there's exercises like this, you guys get handouts from all the other instructors at PIT. Make sure you be creative with them, you know. Don't be afraid to expand on it a little bit, you know. Use your own, you know, put a Bayou kick drum underneath it. Right? Make it interesting. Now you're thinking, wow, this is independence, you know. Got some stuff going on. And then the next page, I believe, is called Pyramid of Pain. While we're on double strokes, I'll get off it, I promise. Is the next one called Pyramid of Pain? Okay. Why do you call it that, Ray? Because it hurts. If you do, the whole premise of this exercise is, obviously I don't want you guys to get hurt. God, don't sue me because your wrists hurt after this. This is an old marching corps thing. We had a guy straight out of the Army. I swear to God, like straight out of marching corps Army guy. And he'd make us go an hour before the band and we'd have to leave an hour after the band. It was just ridiculous. You know, we hated him at the time. Now I look back and thank him because we were using these Louisville sluggers for sticks, you know, on snare drums. And then when I come home on my set and play with 5Bs, it was easy to get around the kit. But this exercise is intended to help build your stamina for your double stroke roll. So notice the pyramid at the bottom, there's a little sample there. So what you want to do is you want to play a bar of 16ths, you want to roll for a bar, go back to the 16ths, and then increase it by increments of 4. So if you're playing this, 1, 2, roll, 1, 2, 3, 4. Now we'll roll for 8. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Now we'll roll for 12. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. See the purpose? And what you're doing is you're climbing the pyramid. And then once you get to the top and it's starting to sound a little sloppy, take it down. You know, you don't want to go into the hundreds if your rolls sound like this. Right? As clean as possible. Do them as slow as you start them out here. Make sure all nice and even and clean notes all the time. No matter how fast you're doing it. Speed or whatever, all nice and clean notes. That's what the goal is here. Everyone understand that page? Anyone that does not? Cool. We got the rolls out of the way. All right. Is there anything else? Is there anything else from the solo that anybody had any questions for? Yeah. Yeah, I was. You mean in the 4 against 3 thing? Yeah. Yeah. What I was doing was this. If we had this pattern going like this, right? Both of my hands are doing this simultaneously. So I was just making up stuff on my feet in between that. Right? Starting really simple. Right? And the stuff in between you heard was, right? Just putting a triplet in there around it. So. I did that 16th to 16 note triplet thing again I was talking to before. Right? But this, just triplets. Right? Yeah, just quite simply. I go left to right. You double bass guys, a lot of people go right to left, and that's cool. I find it easier when I do the double bass shuffle. If I'm playing, right, I go left to right, only because my right foot, I have a lot more tendency of getting the downbeat more on that. If I'm playing 16th note, 1, E, and 2, E, and 3. Triplets, 1, ta, ta, and ta, ta, 2, ta, ta, and ta, ta, 3, ta, ta, and ta, ta. It's always on my right foot, so why not the shuffle beat? Right? But I understand a lot of people go right to left there, and that's cool. Whatever makes it, easier for you to do. You notice the triplets I put over the snare to really lock the 16ths in, or 16-note triplets. So I'm going. It's a great exercise, keeping the shuffle. Even if you're one single bass drummer, one foot. Putting straight triplets like that will really lock in your triplets, so you don't, a lot of people have the tendency of playing. And the bass players turn around and go, "What are you doing? You're losing the swing." That happens the same thing with the Stevie Ray shuffles. Right, same kind of thing. If you're playing single bass shuffle, always do triplet exercises or put your metronome on triplets so you can have that running all the time. Does that make sense? So double bass shuffle, I highly recommend it. If you're doing this, keep some, start really slow. Really lock it in really tight and hard so no matter how fast. Right? It locks in like that. In fact, let me show you an example. I have a little bit of the Hot for Teacher song, and a couple people asked me before, "Are you going to play the Hot for Teacher intro?" Do a lot of guys even know Hot for Teacher? Does anybody doesn't know that song? Yeah, because I was surprised because it's 20 years old. It just hit me. I was talking to somebody before. I was like, "Wow, Hot for Teacher's 20 years old." We open with it every night on the David Lee Roth show, every single night. So, which brings me right before I play this, I want to discuss with you guys the importance of warming up. Like I said, we open with Hot for Teacher. There's no way I'm going to go up cold. We're traveling. We just got back from Europe, right? We did like Europe and Japan, and we're dealing with 19-hour time changes too. It's insane. Some of the travel arrangements, and those 20,000 people sitting out there don't care if you haven't slept for 2 days or you haven't eaten right, or they don't really care. They want a great show, so we got to go out and pummel every night. It's like a football team. We have huddles before the show. So I'm serious, So it's like, no matter what kind of gig you're playing, if it's a light jazz gig, if it's a casual coffee shop thing, if you're playing in Slipknot next week, whatever you're doing, warm up before you play the gig. It's really important to stretch. I don't want to push too many stretches on people because everyone has their own techniques and things they like to do, but I definitely like to stretch out a little bit. I do the hands over the head clasp, this thing. I don't know if you guys know that one. Reaching towards the sky, because you're stretching all these muscles from your wrist to your shoulder, right? So that's a good one. The one behind, that's another one. Stretching from the shoulder to the hands. That's another great one. Be careful with too much of this. I see a lot of guys going like this. That's not good, man, for carpal tunnel and stuff, because that's your carpal's right here. And if it collapses, that's how you get carpal tunnel syndrome. Your nerves get embedded underneath there. You don't watch out for that one. I see a lot of guys still like smacking back like this. That's why they tell you never to do push-ups, right? Like this. You always want to do them fist down, because it's real bad for your hands. You guys want to play the rest of your lives, right? It's a shame, because I'm 33 now, and I've been playing since I was 8, and knock on wood, I've never had a problem with, and I hit hard. If you guys ever see me play with Dave, it's nothing like you just saw today. It's a lot of really just hard and aggressive playing, and I wanted to make sure I studied a great technique, and thanks to the great teachers here, listen to what the staff says. They all have great techniques. A lot of people helped me out a lot with that. Joe Picaro was one of my teachers, and they helped me with the technique. Tim Pedersen was another one. Fred Dinkins, good Lord, better have good technique. You go to him, right? See here, where's Dink at? Amen. But anyway, yeah, so the point is we have to go out, and I basically play a drum solo before the show, before I even start the show. I mean, we don't do that actual Hopper Teacher intro, but we end up with a big power chord, and there's a lot of just fills, and sometimes Dave's like the messiah, right? like stay backstage for 5 minutes, and we're out there holding this power chord and playing drum solos and arpeggios on the guitar, and he'll just take his good old time. He's back here sipping Jack Daniels and smoking illegal drugs, and you know, he's Diamond Dave. He can do whatever he wants. He's a rock and roll legend, right? And when you're hired to play for a rock and roll legend, I've been employed by him for 7 years now. Unbelievable. It's, you know, it's you have to obey what they say, you know, a lot of times. And thank God he takes some of my criticism too. But you have to be ready for anything, you know. So I want to tell you guys, like, if you get hired out there, make sure you're ready for anything, especially if you get hired for these prima donna rock stars like that. You know, Dave's bipolar out of his mind. I don't know if you know what bipolar is. Anybody? But mood swings. I'm talking like the happiest guy on earth, the biggest party in the world, to throwing chairs across the dressing room because the sound's not right. So, I mean, you know, and I've survived 7 years of that. Shouldn't I get a medal or something? I think I should. I'm waiting for that in the mail. But no, but, you know, all these people. I went to see Seal last night, you know, at the House of Blues, and wow, what a great show. You know, everyone, the band's just on it. Did you check that out? Yeah, go tonight, man. Yeah, it's all, man. And God, just everybody really plays from the heart. You know, it's like this. I don't know. You could just tell when he turns around and gives a little cue. Those guys are on it. Let me tell you something. When Dave turns around and gives me a cue, if I miss one little thing, he's all over me, and he'll let the crowd know it. He's not afraid. You know, I'm talking like I watch his finger. If he drops like this, my dynamics better drop 15% right off the bat. If he goes like this, that means give him more. If he goes like this, that means I'm not hitting enough cymbals. I'm serious. So anything he does, he's the commander-in-chief. Be prepared for that. You know, you guys might have your own band, and you have, you know, I've been in fortunate enough situations where I've had my own band, and I get an equal percent and, you know, play on my own records, write the songs. I also play a little bit of guitar and stuff. But when you're, you know, hired for a musician like that, be prepared for anything, you know. Your tolerance and patience. Be cool to people, you know. I always tell people that your attitude has a lot to do with it, you know. There's guys in the Dave band that I won't even mention names in the past that got canned just because of their attitude. It's amazing, you know. It doesn't matter how great of a player you are. You know, when you show up to rehearsal, when you show up to that sound check, you be cool to that sound guy. I'm telling you. You know, you say, hey, man, what's up? And if he's a prick to you, so what? Bite it. You don't have to fight back. You know, do you want your drums to be heard or not? You know, it's basically how I have to look at it, especially when you play these little dive clubs. And I go from 40,000 seat arenas with Dave, you know, to the Viper Room on Monday nights, you know, whatever. I'm a working drummer, but the point is, you know, if sound guy comes in and he's just giving you attitude from the start, you're like, hey man, let's try to work this out. You know, I'd really like to hear more kick in my monitor, and I really need to hear that lead vocalist because I'm cueing off of her or him. You know, try to be cool with that. The engineers, you'll be surprised how much better the gig goes. You know, if you're fighting with one of your band members, swallow it, get over it. You know, play that show like you mean it. You know, never have there's no such thing as off nights. We all have bad nights. So I'm sure you guys come in, you don't feel like playing drums all day long. You know, there's days when I want to go ride dirt bikes instead of, you know, hitting a drum. But the point is, you know, be alert and really be cool to people and attentive, and you'll see how many more gigs you get called for. You know, I've gotten gigs just at sessions where I played 2 and 4, just boom, that's it, the whole no fills. And the engineer goes, man, you know what, it was cool. You come in here, you had your cymbals set up before I got here, your pedals were all dialed in, your drums were tuned right. All I had to do is mic you up and go. You know, and that made me happy. You know, the more prepared you are for sessions, and think professional all the time. Always have that professional mentality at all times. I don't care if you're playing a bar mitzvah next week, you know. I'm playing a disco gig in a week and a half. You know, pea soup all night long. Hey, I'm there. You know what I'm using for a kit? Kick, snare, hi-hats, and a crash, and that's it. I'm there. I'll be there, you know. We're doing a benefit with David Lee Roth on May 14th with Cyndi Lauper and a bunch of other people at the Kodak Theater on Hollywood Boulevard in front of 20,000 people, and it's televised. And the day before that, I'm putting a wig on and playing an 80s metal tribute band. You know what I'm saying? Whatever. So that's what I'm saying. Yeah, you like that, don't you? Yeah. So be prepared for all that stuff, you know. Let me play a little bit. I don't want to bore you guys with my voice. I'm going to play the Hopper Teacher intro, and then I'm going to stop because I don't have it mapped out on the mini disc player. But my Brian Young, the guitar player from Dave, was nice enough to put it down on mini disc for me. So I'm going to stop after the intro, and then you'll recognize the song after that. crowd goes mild. This is what it sounds like with the guitar. And that cut off right there, that better be tight. I mean, very tight. If there's a little cymbal over ring or something, Dave's like, he'll let you know. So one thing you learn, a lot of discipline when you're playing for artists like that. You really want to be tight with it. I'm going to play another sample of a song called Mean Streets, the old Van Halen song. Obviously, Alex Van Halen played on both of these. It's kind of my interpretation. When you play with someone for 7 years, you kind of get your own groove going on certain things. So I'm going to play a couple little things. It's like a 2-minute snippet of that song. Check it out. Just sound familiar, the riff. You see, there's a lot of power going on with that stuff than the Hideous Sun Demon stuff because it's a little more jazzier. So you gotta add that extra oomph, Anybody know that song? Yeah, I see. You don't own the whole David Lee Roth Van Halen catalog. Go get it today. Take out your savings or do whatever. You should own those. They're great records. But this time, I'd like to open up the floor for some questions. I'm going to play another song or two, but I'd love to hear from you guys, too, what's going on, You can ask me anything about Dave, this kit set up, anything I've played today, or just to rap a little bit if you want. Any questions? Yeah. Dimensions on the snare drum. Basically, it's a 7 and a... They always have to be a little different over there, right? So it's a 7 1/4 high, 20 ply maple, and by 14. And check this one out. Check this little ditty out. Orange County's whole thing is they're portholes, right? And they love doing that kind of stuff, right? So this is a 12-inch snare right here, and I use this on two songs on that Hideous Undemon CD over there. And man, it just sounds great. It's got that high-pitched thing, but look, if you notice the plies, it's really thick. You guys, when we're done with this, you're more than welcome to come up and check it out. 20 ply thick, and it just sounds great. I told them to surprise me. I said, make me something purple, gray, and black, and this is what they gave me. So, but they'll do anything you want, anything your imagination can come up with. They'll try to do it. You know, the guy from Newfound Glory, you know that band. He's got a half acrylic, half wood kit right now. It's crazy. It's got wood inlays, maple 10 ply, and it's got acrylics about an inch out around the wood, and it just sounds amazing. It's loud. Loudest snare I've ever heard, you know. But is that cool, man? Tensions? You know what? My tech yells at me all the time. In fact, he tuned these today. You hear Toast? He's working for Vinny Caliuta today. I got beat out by Caliuta. Can you believe that? He's coming by a little bit. Anyway, he always yells at me because he knows these drums better than I do. I mean, because he's the one that sets them up for me every day and rips them down. And he always tunes them like they should sound, right? He like tunes them a little bit low. I always crank the heck out of the 10-inch. I don't use this 8 on the road that much. So that one's my high one all the time. And I crank that one like a timbali. You know, it's not really good. But right now, they're pretty medium tension. You know, they're pretty, I just put these heads on, or he did this morning. That's the lowest that 10's ever been, trust me. You know, 8's got a nice pop to it. 16's pretty wide. I have two kits right now. They're making me a jazzy kind of kit with a 20-inch kick drum. But the other kit that I have, it's a little more resonant, it's more reminiscent of a DW kit, more controlled sound. So I purposely wanted them to make it more wide open. I wanted it more like a Ludwig kind of boomy, and they did it. They did a great job, you know. So, what else? Yeah. How much time do I spend warming up before a show with David Lee Roth? Fortunately, with Dave, you know, we travel in style, which is really cool. I mean, out of all the tours I've been on, I mean, he's high class, first class all the way, which is great. So fortunately, we have our own dressing rooms and everything. So I like to hibernate away from the band. You know, I get away from them about 10 minutes before the show, and I like to sit there and do this first accent page. Do you guys have in your hands? I hit those accents religiously, 10 minutes. No exaggeration, every day, even if I'm not doing a show, just to kind of remind my hands what's going on, you know, that I still play drums, you know. So, and I do it to a metronome, a little pocket crappy metronome that I carry around with me with a real fill pad, and I just sit in there and really look at my hands and my technique, because when I'm playing, we're just worried about the show. You're entertaining. You're not out there, you know, worrying about it. But I'd say a good 10, 15 minutes of warm-ups, you know. I stretch a little bit as well. Like I said, I highly advise that, man. And don't go out cold. I mean, especially if you're doing something vigorous like that, your hands get real hot. You guys ever do that? Like get up on stage and you're up and all of a sudden you get this burning sensation. It's not cool. It's not, you know, loosen up a little bit, you know. But especially the harder the gig is, you know. If you have a little casual gig coffee shop thing, yeah, you can pick up a pair of brushes and go, you know. So yeah, you know what, man? It's very important that you get out. I didn't know. I was kind of naive. I was 19. Right out of high school, I went here, you know, in '88 to '89. And I just thought, like, I'd lock myself in a room for 6, 8 hours and I thought I was going to be so good that no one could turn me down. You know, that's how dumb I was. Seriously, you know. I didn't know that it took networking and getting out there to get gigs. I just thought, like, wow, somebody will see me, you know. It's not true, you know. That's why I encourage all you guys, get out in the clubs, man. I don't care if there's 12 people there on a Tuesday night and there's tumbleweeds going in front of the stage. You know what I'm saying? Play your ass off everywhere, no matter where it's at, because someone will see you eventually, you know. And that's how I got a lot of my sessions, you know. I'd play the Troubadour with my old band, and you know, some guy would be coming in after work, some executive in a suit, just to have a beer, and he turned around and saw me play one time, and he's like, "Where'd you come from?" I'm like, "The farm in Pennsylvania," you know. I was I didn't know anything, you know. He goes, "Hey, this band needs a kind of an aggressive drummer like that. Would you be interested?" I'm like, "Sure." That led into that producer saying, "Wow, I like your playing. I'm doing this thing in 3 months from now." And you just start that way, you know. You start accumulating, but you got to get out, you know. It's really hard. There are talent scouts out there that'll check you out from time to time. They'll come here to school and watch you play. Get on this stage as much as possible, you guys. I'm telling you, play your asses off on this, because this is going to give you the greatest experience of all. A lot of you guys haven't even played in professional situations in a band or whatever. To get on here with monitors and feedback and just, wow, the kick drum's going to sound like that, you know, get this experience down. So when you're in a, you know, you go to audition, you're going to be confident, you know. I encourage you to learn a lot of songs, memorize. A lot of you guys don't play the records, and that blows me away. I was talking to a couple people, and I'm like, I don't learn cover songs. I'm like, I played the stacks of records, from AC/DC to Rush to Sabbath to Ted Nugent, you name it. I just sat there and played the stacks of records since I was 8, and it really helps you out. It helps your memory out. So if you get handed a 3-song demo, you hear about an audition through somewhere, read Music Connection, you always find out stuff like that. Learn those songs thoroughly, you know. And then people are like, how do you memorize that? I can't, you know. And a lot of people aren't good at charting things out, you know. Get your memory built. You have to exercise that, you know, part of your brain that's going to help you memorize stuff, you know what I mean? Try to memorize a 13-minute long Dream Theater song. You don't have to play it exactly. Just try to memorize the arrangements, just for the heck of it, you know. Know when that odd time bar is coming up and that, you know. And that helps out a lot, too. Like I said before, you're sick of hearing me say this, but think professional all the time. You know, your confidence has a lot to do with it, you know. You get called for an audition, or if you're on stage, be confident. If you're having a shit night, who cares? Go up there and play your balls off. Sorry, girls. You know what I'm saying? Just guts out, balls all the time, because you never know who's going to be watching you or checking you out, or, you know. And it makes your band that much more confident, you know. Your wife just left you and your car just caught on fire. Those people don't care. They really don't. They'll say, oh, man, it's too bad. Hey, when's the show start? You know, it's, you know, it sucks to be you, but, you know, so I'm saying, like, you know, I'm exaggerating, but you know what I'm saying. Get to that level where you're just always thinking that way. And it took me years. If I can speed you guys up on that, please take that advice, because I was so naive for years. I was just like, I'm going to play my own band. This is, you know, we rehearsed, I'm not exaggerating, 6 days a week, and we played out about once every 3 months. Big mistake, you know. We just thought, like, we're going to get so good, someone's going to hear us in a rehearsal studio. No, they're not, you know. Not going to do it, you know. When I was here, I was in like 4 bands, you know. From like 6 to 8, I was rehearsing with one band. 8 to 10, 10 to 12. I was kind of like the drum slide of the school, you know. But I just wanted to be in a band, you know. I had that mentality, like, somebody's going to break, right? And you're always like on the edge going, they're pretty close to a deal. I like them the most, you know. Because you're always thinking, like, and the A&R guys, they're just like me and you. They're not any special talent. They're big brainiacs. They lucked out, to me. You know what I mean? They lucked out by saying, you know, they got lucky and signed Disturbed, and they sold 2.5 million records. Yep, that was me. I signed them. You know, they take credit for it. Yeah, of course they saw their talent and recognized it, but you know damn well, you see a lot of bands out there you think deserve, they should be up there, right? And you see a lot of bands that are crap out there, and you're just like, how are they selling? But you know what? It's entertainment. And it's never I used to just think, like, I have to be the best musician possible. There's bands out there that barely are playing, I mean, can barely hold a beat together. I mean, White Stripes. There's, if you think about it, what happened? I'm kidding. I'm jealous because they're selling so many damn records. I wish I could play like her. I'll put a wig on tomorrow. I'll play in the White Stripes. Come on. If they get a bass player. Hey, you know what? I give it up for them. I totally give it up for them, because I tell you what, they got something that appeals to the masses. So hey, more power to them. You know, it just sucks for us to work our asses off. You know, but hey, you know, but never underestimate. When you go out for a gig like that, audition or whatever, go for it. Even if you think like, wow, I don't know, man, it's pretty easy stuff. Play it like you mean it. Get your timing together. That's the biggest advice I could give you. Play to a click track. Not all the time. 75%, I'd say. You play 100% of the time, you're going to get nailed. Perfect example that Dave Roth. We all right, Tim? Okay. About 10? Okay. First David Lee Roth record I did. It was great. Classic story. I walk in there. Wow, Diamond Dave. Wow, I was shaking, nervous. You know, I was like, I can't believe this. I walked in, had all the click settings on my Roland Art 5, you know. Had them all set up, and wow, this is going to be great. You know, Dave's going to think I'm really pro. I got all the clicks in. He walks in, what's that? I go, it's a metronome. He goes, we ain't gonna need that. Boom. And he pulls the plug out of the wall. And I'm like, I had, you know, come on, you don't want to think about, and it was just me and John Lowry, the guy that's in Marilyn Manson, right? Now, it was just me and him. There was no bass player to lock with. There was none of that. So I'm going, now what? And John's looking at me like, dude, I hope you're solid. We hope I'm solid. What? I swear, it's a true story. And I you know, try to talk to Diamond Dave about, like, you know, Well, Dave, how about having, get it out of here. Like, what about 2 songs? How about the ballad at the end? Put it in your car. I mean, that was the end of story. I played the whole record without a click track, and I was freaking. I've listened to that record. There's some fluctuations going on. But, you know what I'm saying? So my point is, don't practice to a click all the time, because I did for a while there. Leave yourself with some space where you can, float around a little bit, It's smart sometimes to bring it in your band rehearsals. You and the bass player sit there and groove. Just play a quarter note. Really solid and tight, Is there anyone that does not own a metronome in this place right now? Anyone? You? Go buy one right now. Leave this clinic. I'm just kidding. No, seriously, man. It's going to save your life. Trust me. All musicians, not just drummers. We're the backbone. We're the timekeepers of the band. But it helps everybody out, for sure. Get a piece of crap. If you're broke, go buy one of those freaking $15 pocket metronomes. Sit there with a real feel pad. Like I said, those accent exercises I gave you, really important, to play with 60 to a metronome, go to 220, go to 120, go to 200, move it all around. Speed is not important. It's your stamina, dexterity, and the, equal right to left. The industry changed so much because of, and no one's really buying records. Everyone's downloading everything. That's kind of scary too. But he's asking, like, how do I feel it changed? I feel it changed a lot, Luckily, I still get hired to do stuff that they're already loops programmed, and I have to play along with the loop. So that's kind of cool, because a lot of guys still want that real feel. I just did Billy Sheehan's new solo record. You guys know who he is? Legendary, right? He's awesome. And we did his whole record, and it was, I recorded 33 songs, and it was all programmed. And the programmer was good. I mean, there was backward snares and all kinds of fancy. I'm like, what am I here for? But it's still a machine. And Billy wanted that real drummer. So he's going to go back and slide the loops in, which makes me I had to play right to the loops, But how do I think it affected it? Affected a lot, We are being replaced out there, but there's still chances. We're not out yet. Because people, you can't mess with the human feel, you know what I'm saying? You'll never get a drum machine. I don't care how much you unquantize it and get the snare to pull back, and you still know it's a drum machine. You guys know, So my best thing is don't fight it. And my advice to you, don't fight it. Get to know it. Get to know acid loops. Get to know all these Pro Tools stuff, because when you go in the studio now, you're going to see it. 9 out of 10 sessions I do now, all to loops. No more doom, doom, no more click tracks like that. I'm always playing all the crazy tambourines, and because they're like, oh, you have a straight quarter note click? They're like, what? I'm like, nothing. Roll it, and because they don't even put a mass click down. They started with a loop from the get-go, So don't fight it. Get used to doing it. And me, I love playing around the click. I love speeding up the choruses and slowing down and all that, because I don't like to just straight on the click. I never bury it. But in certain situations, like Billy's record, we did this pretty wacky song in 7. I had to bury the click because he's going to fly me in 4 bars, fly that loop in. Fly it in 2, fly me in 4. I had to nail it every time, Producer would stop. Ray, the downbeat on that crash is flamming with a loop. And I'm like, okay, let's roll that again, Like, whoa, So you really got to think. That's why I'm saying, play the click a lot, but also play to some loops, So don't worry, they're not going to replace us. The machine will never roll us. I'm going to do one more. Is that cool, too? Yeah, it is, yeah. This is it's called The Mummy. This is kind of a syncopated double bass song off of the Hideous Sun Demons. Thanks so much.